Hello, we're here, we're live. It's now 6 o'clock, Friday. Not sure why the screen looks strange. I'm waiting for people to join me. That's it. The screen's, oh, wrong way. Here we are. Welcome. If you're watching the replay, we're waiting for people to arrive. Hello, MJ. Hello, Diana. Do I look okay, Paul? And can I be heard? Can you hear me? Let me know. Hello, Caroline. Thank you, MJ. Hi, Vanessa. Hello, Carol. Hello, Tina. Hello, Judy. Hello, Trandans. Good. Super duper. We can begin on this very quiet evening. We have no planes. Hello, Sally. Hello, Glynis. Hello, Jacko. Hello, Anna. Thank you. Bloody thank you for joining me this evening. As I say, it's very, very quiet. We have no airplanes at all because there's been a fire at a substation in Hayes, which has knocked out the whole of Heathrow. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. I can't, flabbergasted, to be honest, by that something like that can take out one of the busiest airports in the world. And I don't know about you, Paul, but I was reminded of the pandemic.
You are reminded.
Yes, the pandemic, when it was quiet, when the skies were quiet and nothing was happening at all. Paul, have you been gardening today? Yes, he has. And I shall be gardening tomorrow because our front garden is looking an absolute utter mess. It really is. Hello, Emma. Welcome. So we've got 31 people with us at the moment. Thank you very much for choosing to spend your time with me. How nice. Yeah, it really feels as though spring is finally here. It is feeling warmer, although I am still wearing my hoodie. I've just changed because it was feeling a little bit chilly, but it has been quite remarkably warmer. Hello, Veronica or Ronnie. Hello, Ricarda. Yeah, I mean, this week we have noticed a difference, certainly in the house. And the heating is still on because I don't want to get freezing cold just yet, again, because you can bet your life the temperature will go up and then it will come down again, because that's what it does. We have the false spring, then we have the fool's spring and the fake summer. Oh, geez, I tell you. Yeah, so as you probably saw, we went to Kew Gardens yesterday for our walk, and it was glorious. I was overdressed. I was too warm at one point. Can't win, can you really? In the UK especially. But it was glorious. The sun was beating down, literally beating down. So we had a good old walk, about 3 hours walk, and a good sit down as well. And we enjoyed watching the ducks and the geese, which was rather lovely. Yeah, Judy, we're going to have our heating on. Our heating normally comes on around 8 o'clock for about an hour and a half. So hi, Monica. So it just gives us a little bit of warmth. And it was interesting, actually, because we had a visit the other day on the doorstep from one of our local Labour Party representatives. And I left him with a flea in his ear, complaining about prices, price rises, and how ridiculous it is. I was saying to him, forget about the local issues. You need to be dealing with the national issues about how people are having to live in cold houses because they can't afford to put the heating on. It is absolutely outrageous. It really is.
The energy companies are raking in.
Well, the energy companies are raking it in and they're profiteering. And I said, take that back to Parliament, why don't you? And he couldn't wait to get away from me. I could see him edging away as I was tearing his ear off. But I think you need to let people know, you need to let the politicians know what people are actually going through at the moment. I said to him 20 years ago when we moved into this house, we could afford to heat the house, no problem. Hi, Karen. Hello there, Richard. Yeah, I did, Judy. I gave him an earful, and I think that's what we need to do when politicians do come to the door and ask questions about how they're